Hey everybody, this is Sophia, also known as Mama Sunfire, and I am the Mixtress Maven at Sunfire Apothecary. I'm also the Herbal Intuitive, and I am the Wellness Advocate and Beauty Oracle and all that jazz. Hey, I'm doing a really quick video. I can't tell who it is because you guys, I'm using my phone. My phone it doesn't cooperate with me too long, so this is going to be a very short video, but I just want to share with you some of the things. Hey Gigi, some of the thing, something that I gathered today. Now, of course, most people have this negative stigma that goes along with root working and hoodoo and magic and all this other kind of stuff. But that's Hollywood. Of course, hey Gary, of course, that's the Hollywood description or influence on what herbalists or herbal people or herbal doctors or herbal practitioners generally do. So I am a medicine woman, and I work with a lot of herbs and roots and botanicals, and I take herbs and create foods with them, and I create medicines with them, and that's what I do, and that's who I am. So I also use nature in whatever way I possibly can. I hope my phone is working. Hey Khalid, it looks like my phone is probably acting up. But I take whatever I can use in order to create spiritual interaction with it. So today, if you would please, whoever is watching, if you guys can give me a thumbs up and let me know if this broadcast, if this streaming is clear, and if you can hear me, I would really appreciate it, because I have a hard time with my phone. So if you would please give me a little thumbs up or let me know if you can hear me clearly and if you can see me clearly. Anybody let me know. Hello. Thumbs up, no, yes, no. So I'll try to do another broadcast where people can see me or hear me. Let's see. I'll try. I'm gonna go out, and I'm gonna try to come back and see what happens. And I'm gonna change my positions. Maybe where I'm standing, you just can't hear what I'm saying. Who's talking here? Can't tell. Khalid, if you're watching, it looks like it's only one person watching, so I don't know who that is. Can you hear me and see me clearly? I don't know. Hey Clarence, can you hear me clearly? Hear me and see me clearly? Okay. I can't tell. So anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. Hey, Kasim, could you let me know if you can hear me and see me clearly? Is it pixeled? Is it messed up? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up, and if it's clear, and if it's not clear, do or a smiley face or whatever. And if it's not clear, do the little tears. It's fine. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So what I was saying, I don't know if anyone else heard me, but what I was saying was, many of us who are medicine people, who work with herbs and roots and berries and botanicals and anything from nature, most of us get a bad rap. That's because of the influence from Hollywood and all of this other bullshit and na. Okay, so now of course, as I was saying to a friend of mine today, there are good and bad, if you want to use those terms, negative and positive influences. People do things. Hey Sylvia, people do things all the time that are outside of or what would be considered malevolent, and so I'm going to leave that there. So what this little live is to show you how I work with nature in the spiritual work that I do, the herbs and the tinctures, the tonics and all those kinds of things, and then the spiritual work that I do for other people. So what I'm going to use today is what I collected from outside, actually a few moments ago, and I was going to do the live outside, but it got too dark. So I want you to see. Now, the other day I did a live and I showed you guys what I had in my cabinet behind here. So I want you to look at this. I hope you can see it. If you can tell what it is. Can't hear me. You can't hear me? Oh, crap. Can you hear me now? What about now? Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? I hope so. I hope you guys can hear me. Antonio, you still there? Kasim, you still there? Oh, well, I don't know. Somebody just let me know. You are fine. Okay, thank you. So, all right. So here, if you can see that. Hey, Asia. If you can see that, I've got quite a few. Hey, Divinity. Got quite a few of them. I'll show you another one. There you go. Can anyone tell me or guess what these are? Can you guess what these are? Anybody? Can anyone just throw it out there? What do you think they are? All right. So I don't know how quickly my phone is responding, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there because you know my phone jacked up and I only got a few minutes before it started really messing up. So what I did while I was outside, I noticed because of the weather and the change in the atmosphere, things are happening. And I noticed that, I'm not sure what you're saying. Hey, Georgette. Hey, Teresa. Worms. Yes, there are. They're earthworms. I noticed that there were a lot of earthworms scattered all over my concrete, out in my parking lot, not my parking lot, out on my driveway and on my patio. And so when I looked at them, I said, gosh, it's a lot of earthworms out here. So I know that I'm getting a lot of messages. I just kind of read nature. And so I decided to collect a few of them. And here is what the spiritual principle that goes along with earthworms. Now, as I was saying before, I'm using them. Hey, Jerome, I'm using them to do a work. Let me just say, I will be using them for spiritual purposes. And the work that that I do with them, or going to do with them, is very simple. It speaks to me very clearly. But if you think about what earthworms are and what they do, the first thing you think about, hey, Miss Julie, the first thing you think about is the earth, right? So, of course, earthworms are in the earth. And earthworms are in really good soil. If the soil is not good, if the soil needs some work, if it's off balance, generally you won't find earthworms there. Earthworms help break down food. They take oxygen through their skin. They give oxygen. They aerate the ground. They do all kinds of things. They work within the soil. And sometimes when you're doing plantings, it's good to put earthworms in the ground, so that you'll have good fertile ground, right? And so they work with the roots and they work with the ground. And so here I've said a couple of things, earth and ground. So earthworms are for grounding and for doing the work. And they're for hidden, unseen work. Okay? Work meaning just whatever spiritual work you need to do. So I'm looking around and I'm reading the signs. Okay, Sophia, there is a lot of work needing to be done. There's a lot of spiritual work that needs to be done. And there's a lot of spiritual work that you need to do. So it's time to get the work done, right? Now, with the earthworms, then the other part of the earthworms would be because they were out on the pavement, all of the rain or whatever's happening in the ground, they come up. And then if the ground is not wet, or if the concrete is not wet, then of course they'll get stuck there and they'll dry out and die. Okay, so what happens to them, earthworms, is like them actually drowning in the atmosphere. They're drowning in the air. Okay. And so they suffocate and they die, because they take oxygen through their bodies, and they get that oxygen through in the ground. And one of the things that happen, what you see when you see dried earthworms, is that the ground is saturated. However, they are stuck there right in limbo, in a place where they cannot get back to their home. So the spiritual work that goes along with those earthworms would be not only doing your own soul inner work, meaning that it's time to get in there and dig, aerate the ground, this ground right here. Time to take stock in things, time to do an assessment of your life. It also implies that there is some things that may be out of place. So when your earthworms are supposed to be covered in rich soil, they're out exposed on the ground, or your ground or your balance is off, and some things are being turned over and exposed. And so I will be using those earthworms for work dealing with inner healing for people who are two things. One, if you are already in the healing process, then earthworms are great to use for continual healing and rejuvenation and work and spiritual renewal and things like that. If you have not begun the healing process, or you're not in the process of doing your inner work, then the earthworms symbolize needing to do inner work. So it is time now to do the inner work, or it's time to continue doing the work that you've been doing. Hey, Johnny. And so what you do with the earthworms, or what I'm going to do with these earthworms, of course, I keep everything in jars. You know, I got all my jars and all my stuff back here. But what I'm going to do with the earthworms, of course, they're already dry, is to ground them up a little bit, or break pieces off of it. I know it sounds crazy. Break pieces off of it, but it goes along with whatever healing that you need to do in the way of, say, incense that go along on your altar when you do prayer. I learned in church that when you're having, when you need healing, or when you need to connect with spirit, when you need to connect with God, you go to the altar, and the altar is a place of sacrifice. And in that sacrifice at the altar, you then can lay yourself open, right, and be opened, and then all of the stuff that is there will be revealed and used. All of the and the altar is a safe. I'll say the altar is a safe place to do all of your healing and inner work. And so, because that is, church related and religion related, we too are the altar. We carry our altars here in the inside. We are the tools of the tool, and we carry the altar. We are the symbol. We are the emblems. We are the actual house of God, right? And so in this house inside, we carry our altar, and it is beneficial for us to turn inward and then do the work. So it is time now, according to nature, what I found, to do some inner work for me and for other people. So keep in mind that the things that you find in nature generally is some sort of message or totem. The animal, insect world, plant world, whatever you see butterflies all the time, you see birds all the time, you might see dragonflies all the time, just whatever. But take note of the totems that you see in nature, because generally when God speaks through nature, and God speaks through you, because in you and in nature are the same elements. And so then you take what you see in nature and then you apply it to yourself spiritually. And there you have the opportunity through God speaking to you in nature to do your inner work. And so that's what I'll be using these earthworms for. Yay! I know it looks nasty. Okay, so you guys watched the last video where I had the roach, right? I had a jar of roaches, one jar with a big ass roach in it. And so the roach has symbolism as well. I have a jar with some snake skins in it. That is symbolism as well. But we have to take cues from nature, because God is always speaking. There's never a time that God is not speaking. If you find yourself in a time where you do not hear the voice of God, where you do not feel the unction of spirit or unction of the Holy Ghost moving within you, that's because you're not listening, because God always speaks. Nature is always there. Nature is always speaking. God is always speaking through whatever vessel he needs to speak through, through whatever vessel he needs to speak through. God is always has something to say. And so what I'll do with these earthworms, again, is to pinch pieces off of them, grind them up, or take them and grind them into powder, add them to incense, herbal incense, and herbs that go along with the healing process of learning how to ground or to be grounded or to do your inner work, to do your inner healing and things of that nature. God gives us all kinds of things for us to use. There is no one way to use to be connected to God. There is no one way. There's no one truth. There's no one way, period. There's not. And so regardless of what you've been taught or what you believe, there's not one way. And so you use whatever you have at hand. Our ancestors used what they had in their hand. God tells us to use what's in your basket, use what's in your resources, use what's in your environment. And in doing so, you always stay connected to God. When you are aware that God is speaking to you, he's speaking to you. And so God, your source, whatever name you use to call God, God him, God her, God them, God all of them, energy, whatever your labels are, that's not my business. But whatever your labels are, whatever you like to use as a term to describe or to call your divine source, if it is your higher power, it is your energy from your energy source, you should always be aware of the signals and cues and synchronicities that God is leaving for you. Never mistake or never forget the fact that God is always present, forever present, omnipresent. And so, and that makes sense because everywhere there is God, and there's nowhere you can ever go and at any time and not be in the presence of God. So God speaks to us and God speaks to me through nature. And so now, what would be a good, what would be a good mixture to do inner work? I'm trying to find out what I have here. Okay, so I don't have anything that I really want to show on the video here. Nah, I'm gonna leave that alone. Some of y'all ain't ready for that shit yet, so I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, let's do some sea salt. Okay, sea salt. So what you can do, sea salt you use can be used for protection, being the salt of the earth, being the foundation and the ground by which things are seasoned and savored. So you can take the earthworm, grind it together with some sea salt, and then use it as sprinkling in your yard, or use some magnesium, or use herbs or seeds. How about that? We can use seeds. It's always a good way of replenishing the earth. Take what earth has given you and then transmute it into a different type of energy or usage, upcycle it, and then take the ground earthworms with some seed and plant it in the ground. And then wherever you plant, whatever it is you plant will grow up. And then that is a remembrance and or an altar to the work that you've already done. And it is a symbol for you to use that as an opportunity to see your growth in nature. And so every time you see that plant or see that tree, or every time you eat a tomato from the ground, if you plant tomato seeds, whatever, cucumber, whatever, it is a symbol to you to keep you in remembrance of the work that you did. So that's kind of all I want to do. What do you say? I can't tell. What's the liar? What'd you say? I can't see. Oh, Jesus, what I just do? That's in the... Divinity, I can't see that. I got a big crack in my phone, so I can't see. Again, that's what it's for. Earthworms. Be mindful, friends, that God is always speaking. God speaks through nature. Take your cues from nature and see and hear and know what God is saying to you. I think that's about it. I'm not going to do this long. I'm still thinking about doing the wisdom answers tonight. So I didn't do it last night because I got sleepy. I fell asleep. And so I may do wisdom answers tonight. Maybe. But that's about it. If you guys have any questions, throw a few of them out there if you can. If not, just leave a message in the comments from this video. Leave a comment in the underneath this video, and then I can answer them as best as I can. And that's about it. Again, earthworms are grounding. What's in the jars? Girl, listen, if I put out some of the stuff in the jars, folks gonna get real scared of me. I don't know, people, we funny. I was like that too until God delivered me from people. I did a live before Divinity on some of the things that I have in here, some of the things that I can show you what they mean. There are other things that I cannot show you. But here are a few things. Since I'm talking about bugs and insects and things of that nature, I can go back kind of over the video, go back over some of the things I said in another video about the things in the jar. So let's go here to here. Right here. Here's a jar. I know you may not be able to see what's in there. It's a skull. Here is a carcass of a mouse. Let's see if I can get it out here. You see? And see the little teeth? It's a carcass. The skull of a mouse. Okay, so what will I be using it for? What is it for? People get all, scary. I used to crack my own self up. Anyway, the purpose of a rodent. When you think of a rodent, especially a mouse, what do you think about? And that's what I do. With Hey Meredith, that's what I do. What do you think about? What do you envision? What does it feel like? What have you been told? Well, of course you see mice running around the sewer. And you see mice, you expect to see mice in dirty places, or you see mice outside. So the first thing that you think of course, is that there's, some vermin, so you think of in the negative or in the lower vibrational image of a mouse, vermin, is something's nasty, something is not right. And that's fun. That's the fun way to think of it. But also if you think about what a mouse does. Okay, what does a mouse do? Where you find mice? Man, mice, you see mice everywhere. Mice are everywhere. They're always outside though, unless you've got mice in your house. But mice are outside. You see them in sewers, as I said. You see them over here. What do they do? In any situation, they're adaptable. They can transform. They can squeeze through little spots. They can get in under places. Why? Because that's how they're built. They're built to be able to last. That means so when you see that rat as a totem or that mouse as a totem, it can be looked at in a negative concept, but it also is a positive. There's a positive to it. It says that I am perseverance. I can change and adapt to anything. No matter how bad my situation is, I can handle this. It is no thing for me, right? Okay, so that's what I use it for. So when I do work with it, of course, I'm not going to use it yet until I get some more, or I may crunch it up in little pieces and use a little bit of it. But you use this for work when you're dealing with needing perseverance, or needing strength, or needing to be adaptable. That's what I really hear. This is something to be used to be adaptable. Then you coordinate it with herbs that bring about the ability to be flexible. And then you burn it as a totem, or as in remembrance on your altar, that I need to be flexible. I need to be adaptable. Okay. And not so rigid, not to be so rigid. Okay. So I showed this one the other day. You can see that as a big old cockroach I found. And so, of course, here you go again. Cockroaches. What do you think about? Oh, cockroaches are nasty people's houses, and everywhere. You know, nobody wants a cockroach, of course. Nobody wants to see these things. They fly. They just, everywhere, right? Just bad, bad, bad. All these bad things. Of course, that goes along with it, right? But the good side, the positive side, the uplifting side, the side that you get from nature that says, what does a roach do? You find it in every circumstance and situation. Roaches have been here from the beginning of time until today. Roaches everywhere. They never die. They multiply. And they multiply in every adverse situation. So what do? You take the essence or the energy of the roach. You grind it up. You put it in whatever you need to put in herbs. And you use it to bring about for you a symbol of perseverance. A symbol of being able to survive in any circumstance or situation, right? Okay, that's easy. Spiders, okay? What does the spider do? You see spider, everybody's scared. I'm scared of spiders. I know people that are not scared of spiders. And believe it or not, I'm scared of bugs. So, I ain't messing with them unless they're dead. But spiders do all kinds of things. I don't know all what spiders do, but they they do all kinds of things, right? Spiders have a purpose. Every animal in the animal kingdom, and every insect has a purpose. And so if you know the purpose of it, I have had spiders on my totem for the last month. Oh, okay, Meredith, that's what I'm talking about right there. And so what you do, you look up what is the totem? What does that mean, spiders? How do you use them? Spiders have a lot. They deal with insects. They deal with other insects. They clean. They keep things clean. It's a lot of stuff that spiders do. Yes, the weaver. We always have weavers. Exactly. The weavers are, have you seen the spiders that come out at night? They make their web at dusk, and they weave their web, and then they take the web up at night. Well, that is the creativity. That is speaking, as you said, to the divine feminine, because they always come out at night and they're huge. Sometimes you see them, they're scary looking. And true, it is for creativity. It is also for to clean. Spiders have a lot of symbolic imagery or symbolic messages that go along with it. Okay, so then beetles, they do a lot of work. They do the dirty work. They do the dirty work. They're grounding as well, and they keep up. And earthworms do the same thing. They do kind of the same thing that earthworms do, but beetles are strong, hard exterior. And that's what you need to have. Sometimes when you get beetles, it is a symbol of being able to be your exterior. You need to toughen up a little bit. And so this is a inner work to be able to deal with your emotions. So that's the what else I got back here? Snake skin. Woohoo! Snake skin. Hey, Kiki. Snake skin. Of course, I have friends who they love reptiles, and they give me all their stuff. So snake skins. What do you think about when you think of snakes? Me, I'm scared to hell. I'm scared to death. Hey, Kiki. I'm scared to death of snakes. I don't care if they green or beige. It doesn't matter to me, red, white, or blue. I don't care. I'm scared of snakes. I ain't scared of dead snakes, but I'm scared of live snakes. So I have friends who actually have snakes as pets. They do rescuing of pets, snakes and insects and stuff. And so I have snake skin. I also have a little teeny baby snake. Y'all don't laugh at my little containers. I recycled them. This one had what it had? I had almonds in this one, and I had almond butter in this one. So I just washed it out and saved it. But this is a snake, a little teeny snake that I found dried on the side of the road. Okay, so now when you think of snakes, the first thing you think of what? Snake in the grass. Somebody sneaky, right? That's the first thing people think of. And of course that has a connotation that goes along with it. Somebody's being low, subtle, deceptive. that does have that. You can use it with work. Say there's something going on and you don't quite know what's happening and you need some revelation. You need to know something. And so you can use that energy from the snake for that. But also, if you think about snake, what is a snake on the other side of the spectrum? What does a snake do? What does it symbolize? Well, first of all, the snake skin symbolizes rebirth and renewal, regeneration, right? The snake sheds its skin, it comes out anew. It symbolizes salvation. It symbolizes health and healing. That's why the snakes were used for as a symbol in the health industry, right? So when you do work that use snakes or any insect, you can take what they are and transmute it or use it in a work to do inner healing and inner work. That's what everything I do is basically self-love and inner work. And so self-love and inner work. So that's basically what I do. So whenever you use, hey, kissy, kissy, Sonia. So whenever you think about nature and what happens in nature and the cues you get from nature, you can take that and apply it to yourself at all times. And so that's part of doing that self-love. You know, when we talk about loving ourselves and all this kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. You know, yes, Tashelle, it is rebirth and transformation. That's what snakes symbolize. So when we're doing our inner work, right, when we're loving on ourselves, you can take cues from nature and then you use those as you use those cues to tell you what it is that you need to work on for that time. And then you just be led about how long you do that work, what you do with it. Let's see if I can find something else. There's a few other things here. Some stuff you cannot see because I don't want y'all messing with me. This right here is, I know it's going to be backwards, but it's blackberries, blackberry bramble, or blackberry thorns, right? This can be used in negative and positive or malevolent and benevolent work. However, when you use blackberry bramble, you're dealing with protection. Okay. You want to guard from something. You need it to symbolize putting up a hedge of protection. And that's what they do. You know, the thorns stick you and they keep you from getting the fruit. Keep you from getting the blackberry. So you do work that says, you know, I have a fruit. Your fruit could be your children. Your fruit could be your job. Your fruit could be your own inner self and your love. And so you do a work for yourself for protection and inner healing as well, right? So you use a blackberry bramble. Of course, blackberries, as we know, they have a lot of vitamin C. They're antioxidants, so they're fabulous for the body. So there you go. Also, let's say, here's something I think is fabulous. Y'all gonna laugh. Kisses, kisses. Okay, so these are little, you know how when you're outside and you see those little white things and you blow them. I'm about to sweep that up. That's what these are. These are seeds, right? Dandelion, you see dandelions like that, right? And these are not actually dandelion seeds. These are actually cat's ear seeds. Cat's ears plant looks like a dandelion. They call them false dandelions. They look exactly like dandelions almost, with a little difference in the yellow blooms. Generally, not all the time that I can remember. Hey, David. Dandelions have one stem and then the yellow flower comes out at the top. And then of course, when it goes to seed, you'll see those little white, what we call blow, those little fairies. Those are the dandelion seeds and they have one stem and the flower comes out on the top. Now, cat's ear is a little different because generally on a cat's ear plant, you'll see two stems or three. It'll be one main stem and then there'll be one or two stems off to the side. And so you will have maybe two or three flowers on one stem. So that's one of the ways you know a cat's ear flower plant from a dandelion. Cat's ear do basically the same things as dandelion. As a dandelion is used as a diuretic to get fluid and extra water and build up off of your system. They work well in conjunction with people who are doing detoxes and dealing with sodium, and not just sodium, but like blood pressure issues and yada, 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 you know. Okay, so now if you think about it, I got these because I collected these, and whenever I hear, when I go outside and I hear or perceive, get that, go ahead and get that. I get it because I know that I'm gonna need it for something. Okay, so these here, if you think about these, this is the seed portion. This is the male portion, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, just because seed doesn't mean it's male, but this is the male portion, I think, of the plant. Okay, and so when you blow it, you blow the seeds, and then wherever the seeds go, that's where another plant is going to go if it's fertilized, right? Okay, so here, these are wishes, or these are desires, here, right? A bowl full of desire, right? And so you use these, you cast them out. If you have something on your heart, or you want to manifest something, you take a handful of the seeds, the little, what I call fairies, and you blow them out to the wind, and you send your worries out in that manner. You send your concerns out in that manner to blow away, to be transmuted, or to come back to you as a I don't want to say a gift, but in a way that you can utilize it. So you send it out. So that's these little what I call little messengers. So you send these out when you're wanting to get rid of something out of your inner self, do some inner work. You can do that as well with these here. Let's see. Poke salad. Poke salad. These are poke salad leaves. Now, if anybody, most of y'all folks are from the South, y'all know everybody got poke salad in a yard, right? Poke salad can be eaten if you pick it at the right time. Otherwise, they are poisonous. Okay. So now, what can you use? These are the poisonous ones. What can you, I have some berries too, somewhere around here. I don't know. I got some poke salad berries somewhere. Poke salad berries, leaves here, symbolize. So the first thing you think about is poisoning, right? And so, of course, that's not a good thing. I want to poison somebody. I want to do some work to poison somebody. No, it's really to dead something. You know, understand what I'm saying? To dead something, to kill something. So when you want to get rid of an aspect of yourself that is not beneficial, you can dead it, right? Incorporate a black candle to banish it, meaning you want to get rid of it and get it as far away from yourself as possible, as you possibly can. Send it back to wherever it's supposed to go to, so that it could be transmuted and then return to you in its good, beneficial way. So this is what that is for. And I think that might be all of what I'm going to show you that's up in here. Up and through here. Patchouli. I'll do some patchouli. Patchouli leaves. Patchouli leaves can be used. I love the way patchouli smells. It's very earthy, very, very, very heavy. So it's very grounding. You use this in work that you're doing to stay connected and to the ground and to the earth. It also helps to attract and to bring money in abundance. And so you want the money to come and to stay, to take up root and residence, to be connected to you in a way. Of course, money is supposed to flow, but you want some money to stick and stay. You understand what I'm saying? Stay and then grow and flourish. So that's what this is for. That's about that's about it. Purple corn, right? Purple corn. This is corn like corn on the cob, but they're purple. Let's see, I have to do one. Purple corn. This is corn. Purple corn. Let's just say that, have you ever seen in the grocery store in the corn chip aisle, and they'll have blue corn chips? I think they do have blue corn, but this is purple corn. You can use it that way. Of course, it's purple, it's dark, it has antioxidants, it's great for your blood, symbolic for blood. It is great for health reasons, things of that nature. So you can use the purple corn for that. I ain't gonna tell you everything, but y'all do your research. Then I have sage, burdock root. I can't tell you. Here's something. Hold on a minute. Frankincense. All right. It says, wow, oh, thank you, David. Okay, frankincense. We know frankincense is boswellia. This is the resin or the sap from the frankincense tree. Most of the time you use it. Well, of course, most people know about it, frankincense and myrrh. This is myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh, we know biblically what they were used for. They were given to the Christ child. Frankincense, myrrh, frankincense, gold, myrrh, and cinnamon, all those things. They work for cleansing and protection, right? So you use these. Oh, they smell. Frankincense smells divine when it's burned. The resin, it smells fabulous. I think frankincense leaves from the tree can be used for the essential oil can be used for skincare. It's great for mature skin. Frankincense is good for, I think, your heart issues. There's a spider. I'm sorry. For heart issues, I do believe. What else is frankincense used for? Can't think of it right now. So, and so your frankincense and your myrrh, they work hand in hand. Myrrh does quite the same thing. I actually have some myrrh essential oils. I got some frankincense essential oils. I love this company. Veriditas, and you can't see it. But they got frankincense. You can mix frankincense essential oils with some coconut oil and do a nice little face mask. What else it says? Put in, I don't know what you said. Put in your, what did that say? You put in your, something. I can't see it. Davini, I'm sorry. I have a crack in my phone, so I can't see what you're saying. I can't see what you're saying. So I think that's all I'm going to show you. Eggshell powder. I just leave that alone. Oh, what's that thing? There we go. And these are maple bark. I talked about maple before. Let me see. Oh, that's not it. I talked about maple before. I won't talk about that now. Let me show you something else. I have a big container. This is my last thing I'm going to show you. This right here, you can't really tell what it is. It's, it looks like flowers. These are honeysuckles. Honeysuckle flowers, but I have a big bag of honeysuckles that I, oh Lord, that I got from the side of the road. They are drying. So I usually put them in a bag. I recycle everything. So these are honeysuckle leaves, and then the honeysuckles are on here. But they're in the process of drying. But honeysuckles, I have some things written down too. And I'm going to read to you what I have. Okay. Honeysuckles are, I already know this. Honeysuckle is for, it's a diuretic, and it can be used to, hey, Terry, is that Terry or Jerry? I can't see, my phone's messed up. Honeysuckles can be used for cuts and wounds, some bruising, path. What, Tashelle, you know what? I can only see where it says path, bait, bath. I don't know what that say. But yeah, you could use it in bath, I think. Anyway, honeysuckles are an astringent. They are antioxidant. They are astringent antioxidants. They are anti-inflammatory. They have the ability to be an expectorant. They work well with clearing mucus. So it works in conjunction in the body, forming the constituent is glucoside. And so it helps to, it attaches itself in the body as a sugar compound, and then toxins generally attaches itself to sugar compounds. And so when the sugar is compound is depleted from your body, it takes the toxins with it. So it works as a laxative. Honeysuckle does, blah, 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 blah. So that's about it. I don't have anything else to show you, but that's just something about herbs. And that's it. My phone is about to die, so I'm going to go ahead. How do you use the honeysuckle in water? And yes, you can use the honeysuckle in water. You can make an infusion. You can do it as a tea. You can use the leaves. You can do it as a tea. The blooms, leaves, and the berries and the stems. You have to be careful because the berries especially are slightly toxic or can be toxic to humans. So you have to be careful. I generally just work with the blooms for ingesting. If I want to use the honeysuckle in any kind of inner work, honeysuckle brings in the energy of honey to sweeten your life, honey to sweeten your pocket. It brings in, you think of honeysuckle, you think of love. So it sweetens your love life or your relationships. It brings in a little bit of sweetening your romance, hey, getting that little sweet thing going on between you and your significant other. Honeysuckle is phenomenal for bronchial respiratory issues. So you can do it in a tea or a tonic of that nature. You make a tincture with it. So you can do just about anything. Did I say honeysuckle flowers? I just don't mess with the leaves if I'm going to ingest it. If I'm not going to ingest them, then I use the leaves in work for love and for bringing in the element of the sun. Honeysuckle juice, they bloom really good during the springtime. So they bring in that element of spring and renewal. So that's what that is. And that's it. I keep saying. No, y'all not ready for that right there yet. All right. Okay, so here we go. I'm getting ready to show it. Okay. Whew. Here you go. I'm going to show it to you. You see it? Y'all see that, right? Can anyone tell me what that is? Can you guess what that is? What does it look like? It smells. Yeah. So, if you can guess, I'll tell you how to use it. Until then, I'm just be quiet. But that's it. Nobody guesses. I'm not going to tell you. Christopher Steele. Hey, Christopher. So y'all want to know yet? Hey, Suzette. Well, my phone's about to die because it just got dark. So those were chicken hearts. Yes, Tashelle, you know it. Chicken hearts. Yes. What do you use the chicken hearts for? Ooh, chicken hearts. Ooh, that's so scary. Ooh, that's the devil. Ooh, doopy, 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 doo. All that stuff. Get out of here with that. Okay. Anything can be used for good or bad. Whatever you want to call that. Adverse energy, whatever. Chicken hearts. What do Sophia use? Mama Sunfire. What do I use chicken hearts for? Now, of course, it can be used to break up people. You can do all kinds of nonsense with it. Cause a breaking of a relationship, good or bad. People use it for whatever. I'm not responsible for what people use it for. I don't ask them when they order them. However, chicken hearts are phenomenal to use for inner work for the heart, dealing with the heart chakra, right? You deal with the heart chakra. Okay, so if you're connected to a relationship that is not good for you, right? And for some reason, you cannot seem to shake it, or your heart is broken for whatever reason. You take the chicken heart, you put it on a coal and you burn it, and you say whatever you need to say to empower you, or to diffuse your situation. I want more love in my life. And so I do this work. I use rose petals, and I use rose essential oils, and I use whatever other botanicals or herbs I need to symbolize love for self-love and self-work and healing. So I use the chicken heart because back in the day, didn't nobody waste nothing, right? You got all of it. You gonna use it, you gonna get it all. We're not gonna eat the chicken. Like I used to get whoopings for not eating all the meat off my chicken bone. So, that goes without saying. So what you use it for, sidebar, when you get ready to cook a chicken or bake a whole chicken, you dig up in the cavity and you take the giblets out, right? And you got chicken heart, chicken liver, and gizzards, right? And so most people throw them away. I don't know what to do with that stuff. No, what you use it for, you cook it and you chop it up and you put it in your dressing. That's what you use it for. That's what you use it for. But chicken hearts for heart work, right? Show what you want to show. This is right. I showed it. I just now saw what you said. So the chicken heart is used most of the time. The way I use it is for heart work, love relationships, building good relationships, or severing the ties from relationships that are not good for the person who is needing the work. Okay. And also it is symbolic for you if you use it for your own inner work. I've got to go. And so okay. All right. Bye, James. See you. I got to go to my phone's about to go out. So anything you find in nature, you can use it. You can use it for good. You can use it for bad, benevolent, bad, but you always take the cues from what nature is saying, what God is speaking to your church, what God is saying to you. And you take those cues and you use them for the upbuilding of your church, for the up and edification and the admonition of your church. Oh, thank you. So that's what we use for. I'm getting ready to go before my phone go out on y'all. Smooches to you if you want to get in contact with me. You know where to find me. Shit, I'm always on Facebook. But my website is mamasunfire.com. That's MamaSunFiyahh.com. Or it's Sunfire Apothecary, SUNFIYHAYAHH Apothecary. So anyway, you guys be blessed. Love y'all. Switches better. I don't know how to turn this darn thing. I never know how to turn this stupid thing off. How you turn this thing off? Oh, Lord. Oh, there we go.